All right, so the month of October has been a very interesting one on relationships. We have with us Hannah Jonathan. She's Nigeria's first certified clinical sexuality coach, and she's been sharing some wisdom on intimacy and wellness over the past few weeks, especially with regards relationships. Hannah has also been certified as an emotional intelligence and neurolinguistics EFT and matrix printing practitioner. She's the CEO of Soul Spice Toys, and we have quite a lot to go over. There are a lot of myths about intimacy that we hope to debunk today, but if you have delicate ears in your vicinity, you might want to redirect them to another room at this point, because this is for adults only. We have, but it's been an interesting month with you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so when it comes to bedroom activities, any activities in the other room, obviously we're talking about for married couples here, but there are some myths that we're hoping to debunk, especially when it comes to pregnancy or fertility. Yeah. You know, a lot of people assume that if a man doesn't reach his final bus stop during that activity or get to his final destination, so to speak. Yeah. The English I'm using, I hope you understand.
You understand, yeah.
So if he doesn't get to his final bus stop, can a woman actually get pregnant?
Oh, yes, she can. People believe you have to get to the final bus stop before she gets pregnant.
Okay.
And that's not true.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't even have to enter the street.
Wow.
For her to get pregnant, if you know what that means.
Okay, so are you saying that at the junction?
Anything can happen.
Wow.
At the T-junction.
Wow, interesting.
It is very possible.
So that's a myth, but is there any scientific proof of this?
Yeah.
Or statistics on this?
So the thing is, there's what we call the pre-com.
Okay.
Right. A lot of people believe you have to get to the end, which is, you know, the ejaculation part, right? But even the pre-com is as strong as the end game.
Okay.
So just a job of that, you know, you have people who say, oh, I'm very good at withdrawal.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I pity you.
Okay.
You withdraw so much that you end up buying diapers, you know. So
interesting.
So the com is enough.
In the end, so we have to be delicate, obviously, how we explain this now. But it has been a myth that has been carried on for quite a long time, and I have a feeling there's reasons for that. There's also been the reasons myths around the woman's monthly flow.
Yeah, so there's also the belief that when your monthly flow, you are safe.
Oh, okay.
You know, but I tell people nobody is safe.
Okay.
You know, because the man ends up staying in you for another 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
By the time he gets to the bus stop,
yes,
he stays in you for a few days.
So it doesn't just disappear after it?
No, it doesn't. Okay. So even if it's not your period, if it's not your timing during your menstrual flow, it could meet up in another 2 days.
Interesting. Especially if his boys are very strong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or if you get to meet 2 different people. That's why you find out some people have twins, but
interesting.
Of different fathers.
Wow. Honestly, that's another myth that I've actually, so interesting, funny story. So I'm a mom of twins, and we were interested to find out that, so the doctor told us that there was a certain number of hours difference between when they were conceived. And meaning that, so one of the twins was older. So they have a lot of these devices that they use to calculate all these things. Now they measure the size of the babies and everything. It was so interesting. So that's another myth that's debunked right there.
So one was, one had
arrived,
been hooked, right? Before hours later, another one got hooked.
Okay, interesting. All right, so that's another myth debunked. So delicately, is there another one you're going to give us?
Oh, yes. There are a whole lot of them, right? There is also the myth around condoms. Okay. Right? They say when you wear them, you don't feel
the same.
You don't feel the same.
Oh, okay.
But I tell people you need to buy quality. Don't just buy cheap because you need to buy. You need to buy. It's not about brands now.
Okay.
Because when you look at it, the same brand you have in our country and the same brand you have outside the country, when you open them, they are not the same. The feelings are not the same.
Okay.
I sell them so I know I can tell.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
Sometimes you see some, you can see.
So I guess quality. Some people say imported is better quality. Some people say that
101%.
Okay.
Right.
So
Even with the brands we have here, right, and the brands are also abroad, right. It's like when you want to buy from here, you can see the one of 300, 400 for one.
Yeah.
And then when you are buying the imported ones,
of
you are
the same
seeing
brand.
a pack of 10 for 20K.
Wow.
And you're asked, it's not the same brand. No, uncle.
Okay.
It's not the same.
Even from a contraceptive standpoint, right? In terms of quality, a lot of people are, of course, using it for contraception. So if quality is a factor here, and you're using it to prevent pregnancy or prevent infections, so to speak, do you have to consider, you know, maybe buying imported?
No, you have to consider buying quality. I always stand with quality when it comes to things like that, because I would rather you spend good money to protect yourself than spend a huge part of your life savings to heal yourself, which means that a lot of times some of these STIs don't even have anywhere they're going to. They are in you for life. So I would prefer you just take care of yourself way better. So
a lot of people, so the company you run has certain toys for adults, right? And a lot of men are on the school of thought, well, a lot of people are on the school of thought, not men here, that as soon as you decide to purchase a toy, it's because there's something that was missing previously that you were not getting. So do you see them as a replacement or an enhancement?
No, toys are enhancements. They are not. They cannot replace. I always tell people, what a man can do, a toy can never do. What a toy can do, a man can never do.
Wow.
Right. So let's not mix it up. Right. A man can do multiple things at the same time. A toy can do multiple things at the same time. There's no movement, there's no flexibility and all with a toy, right? A man cannot vibrate. Don't get it twisted.
You this woman, don't get me in trouble.
So you can't do what a toy can do.
Very true.
Basically, what you can do is you can add toy to what you can do. And trust me, there is a level of input you bring into it that even your partner, be it male or female, cannot get alone, except with you and through you.
So I actually wanted to touch on this. In terms of statistics, maybe out of 100 customers, right, that you have, how many are men purchasing for their wives?
To be honest, 2024, a lot of men are really up and tight about it. They are very open to it now, unlike when I started. I think the women are now the problem I have. Except for the married ones, the women are the problem. You know, when you have a client, so I want to buy for my wife, I beg you, I don't want it to, before you say this, right? Or a man gets to bring in one, and the woman is like, no, then let's not.
So are you talking out of 100, maybe 60? 60%?
I would say 45%.
45%.
Yeah, because it used to be like 5% thereabouts. Right? Then most especially you have men abroad who wants to buy for their partner, but they're saying, you know what, so can you give me half my size? Can you give me a small one? You know, and I'm like, uncle, calm down. You know? But they're getting better.
So I wanted to touch on one final one, and you've already touched on it now. Before we go, you've already touched on size. Is that a myth?
Size is a myth, trust me.
Size is a myth.
I always say when it comes to toys,
size is
regardless of your size, there is something to cover you up.
So Spice, I'm hoping that those listening can interpret what we've been saying to the best of their ability and understand why it's important for us to debunk some of these myths, especially in 2024 for married couples only. At this point, I'd say thank you to you, for joining us in October. It's been an amazing month with you. We'll be seeing you on social media.
Thank you.